As an Alaskan, once you start visiting around a little bit, as soon as somebody finds out you're from Alaska, you immediately become the spokesperson for the entire state. And inevitably, you're going to get some questions that are going to kind of become very common after a while. So in today's video, I am going to answer some of the biggest myths that people have about Alaska. If you have any questions about Alaska, just general questions you think I should have included on here as well, make sure you post those down below, and we'll see if we can answer those for you. Obviously, before we get started, give this video a like, make sure you subscribe, and without further ado, let's go and jump into it. Myth number 1. Everyone lives in an igloo, right? I almost don't want to dignify this question with an answer, but no, obviously not. You know, it's not the frozen tundra out in up in the North Pole, and that's the real North Pole, not just the town named North Pole. I feel like that's an important distinction I shouldn't have to make, but I have to. No, we don't live in igloos. Normal houses, okay? Normal people. Myth number 2. It's just dark up in Alaska all the time during the winter, right? You know, this one actually has a little bit of truth to it. You're not going to have a whole lot of sunlight in a whole lot of parts of Alaska unless you're in the southeastern part once you get to the winter time frame. Now, kind of the extreme version of it where you're far, far up north, about as far as you can go, you know, like Barrow or one of those cities, kind of Fairbanks or further up, it's going to get pretty dark for a long time up there. And yeah, it's the most you're ever going to get, even in south central Alaska during the winter solstice, is more of kind of a dusky kind of a light then. So yeah, not going to be a whole lot during the winter time, but man, it definitely makes up for it during the summertime. Myth number 3. This was actually a question asked from one human being to another human being, and that is, hey, so I see Alaska's really close to Hawaii on the map, so why is it so cold? So the thing about maps is Alaska would really throw off the proportions of the entire United States, and so for that reason, you're going to see usually Alaska in a small little box next to Hawaii. That's not geographically where it actually is, okay? I'm not making this up. You can go Google it yourself. You will find out Alaska is in fact not located next to Hawaii. Do you have any Alaska myths maybe you would like to have answered? Maybe there's some truth to it, maybe there's not. Either way, make sure that you post those down below, and be a great time to have some fun with these. Myth number 4. Alaska is just a frozen wasteland, right? No, this could not be any further from the truth. The fact of the matter is that, of course, it's going to get cold during the wintertime, and there's going to be a lot of snow, okay? There's just a lot of snow, there's glaciers, ice, all that stuff. Yeah, it's going to be here, it's Alaska. But during the summertime, most of that is going to go away, and you have just got forest and green all over the place and flowers. We actually are known for having some of the world's largest cabbages and produce grown right here in Alaska. Actually just, oh gosh, I think that's actually only about 30 minutes up the road over in the Matsu Valley, just because we have so much sunlight. So no, Alaska is not just this frozen, barren wasteland in the great north, okay? It's maybe a lot more to it than that. Myth number 5 is that when people say, hey, so you get paid to actually live in Alaska, right? Okay, so when people hear this, I'm assuming they're talking about the permanent fund dividend, or better known as the PFD here in Alaska. And what it is it is proceeds from the oil produced from the state that the state takes and then gives a portion of that back to the citizens of the state. Usually it's not going to be like enough to justify moving up here just for that, okay? It's usually going to be hovering right around like $1,000 the past couple of years per person in a household. So Not big money. If you're planning your finances the way you need to, you won't have to really rely on that PFD, and it's just a fun little bonus check at the end of the year. So that's kind of the best case scenario. So yes, you do get the permanent fund dividend if you are a resident of Alaska and you live here for a certain amount of time. But yeah, you're not going to just come up here and have somebody write you a check every month just for existing. That's not how that works. Myth number 6, and my personal favorite, is when people ask me if I can see Russia from my house. Thank you for watching. If this has been useful, make sure that you give this video a like, make sure that you subscribe, and make sure that if you have any general Alaska questions that you want answered by an Alaskan who actually does live here, you post those in the comments section down below. As always, you can reach out to me directly through my Facebook page, and the link for that is going to be down in the description down below.